I wanted to be very transparent when making this video because um, I wasn't able to sleep last night. I actually woke up this morning and I worked out. I wasn't really able to sleep last night, but I decided just, hey, I'm just going to get up at 6 a.m. I didn't wake up in a really good mood because I was looking for my glasses and I couldn't really find them. I was getting a little frustrated. So I decided to do my daily affirmations in the morning, which is like a ritual for me, pray ritual. So I decided to do that. And then I came across a video by Jim Rohn, and he was talking about how you can actually silence or just get rid of negative thinking. And what really stood out to me was when he said, choose your thoughts. Now, I have had, if you've watched any of my previous videos, then you know that I am always willing to share my life and be completely authentic, and be completely raw and cutthroat. I have always seen myself in a negative light, okay, when it came to anything that I wanted to achieve. Even before I started my YouTube channel, even before, I even did music at one point, and I still do music. But when I started my YouTube channel, I really just did not have faith within myself. I didn't have the faith that I actually, you know, like I kept starting and I kept stopping. And I know that you guys have seen that for my OG subscribers. And I know that, it was just like a habit because I was so used to procrastination. But it wasn't just the fact of being used to procrastination. It was because I have had so many negative thoughts and I wasn't working on self-improvement. I wasn't doing it as a daily practice. I wasn't actually going out there and, even though I failed, even though sometimes when I lost subscribers or when, certain things that would come up in life, I allowed that to get to me and I would constantly react to things that people would say or constantly react to situations that were around me that really just got to me. Because I remember talking about this with my therapist and I said, I don't feel like my life is where I want it to be. Like, I feel like a failure. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting to where I want to be. But truthfully, I wasn't even like, my therapist told me, like, she said, when you're in front of that camera, how do you feel? I said, I feel confident. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I'm actually helping expanding people's lives. I actually feel like I am leaving a mark on individuals and actually, being able to just give them like, like not even, this isn't even advice. I'm telling you my story, okay? And Les Brown said, you can tell, let me tell you something. You can tell your story. And if your story is good and you tell your story good, keep telling that damn story, okay? He didn't say it like that, but I'm going to say it like that. But like, this is like, it was so therapeutic for me. And like when I first started my YouTube channel, before I even first started it, I remember I think I said this in a video. I was told that like my college coordinator, she was asking me, she was like, what do you want to do for college? I mean, what do you want to do for college? Before I went to college, she was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I want to be a content creator. And she said, that's not realistic. That was a setback within itself because I thought to myself, oh, this isn't something that I can actually do. Or like, this isn't, I needed all this equipment. I needed a special camera. I needed this. I needed that. And all these things that I was worried about. And I was like thinking to myself, like, okay, maybe she's right. Maybe this isn't realistic. Maybe this is just something once in a lifetime. Maybe when people want to actually go out there and achieve their goals, maybe not everyone can actually get to where they want to be. Maybe, maybe me just working a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life is probably something that I'm meant to do. Maybe this CNA is what I'm meant to do. Like when I was a CNA, and I was working at the convalescent home, I hated it tremendously. Even though I treated my patients with so much care as best as I could because I thought of them as I would think of my own grandmother. And rest in peace, Granny. And so it just like, I hated it so much. And every day I was listening to motivational videos, I was listening to Les Brown, but I wasn't really applying it. Like now, I actually apply it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually doing what I need to do. I'm not telling you guys or coming onto this channel being fake. I'm not trying to fake the funk. No, this is not, that's procrastination disguised as improvement. And that's not, that's improvement disguised as procrastination, I want to say, because really it's not, if you're listening to it, you can read a book, you can listen to a motivational video or whatever, or a speaker, and not actually apply it. Like a lot of people do. Neville Goddard, for example, like with manifestation, a lot of people are so gung ho on wanting to listen to a lot of, content creators that talk about manifestation, or manifestation coaches. And don't get me wrong, I do too, but I apply that shit behind the scenes. I'm not just sitting here on my ass, not applying it and putting in the work, because truly manifestation is, to me, is a self-love journey. I'm just going to say it, because I feel like it's you really manifesting the best version of you. Like you are creating, you are coming into a new realization that I can be the best that I can be. And so for me, like it was, I kept going back, and, I would fall back and I would fall off, and it was just so many things. And I wasn't loving myself, and I wasn't taking the time to change my mind. Because I would wake up with so many negative thoughts. Like I used to tell my psychiatrist this as well. I would have so many negative thoughts. Like I'm talking about so many negative thoughts. Like it was bad. It was to the point where I would wake up and all these negative thoughts were just, they were just there, just telling me how wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy, I wasn't doing this, da 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 da. And I didn't realize that you can choose your thoughts. I didn't realize that your thoughts are really not you, right? Our thoughts were not our thoughts. Because 9 times out of 10, the thoughts, those negative thoughts that you are, because it's like the mind is a muscle. Jim Rohn said this, the mind is a muscle. If you don't work it out, it gets weak, right? So say, for example, when we don't work out for a long time, what do our muscles do? They get weak. We have to work them out. The more you work them out, the more they become strong, right? Just like your voice box. Your voice box is a muscle. If you work out your voice box, it'll become stronger. If you don't, then it won't, okay? So it's like when we have negative thoughts, we allow that to stop us, right? We allow it to stop us when you're being told you're not good enough, when you're being told that you can't do that, you failed before, so why keep doing it, why keep trying it. We allow that doubt to creep in. And the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to allow the doubt to creep in. Before the doubt creeps in, you just take action. Don't even second guess it. Don't third guess it. Don't do none of that. You just leap. You say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because this is something that you really want to do. And see, then have this we then also have this thing where in society we compare ourselves to other people, because other people's journey is different. Everybody doesn't have the same journey. Everybody is not going through the same things in life. Everybody is not going to go through the same obstacles and trials and tribulations. Some people may be gifted with certain resources and others may not, but that doesn't make you any different, right? What separates you is the mindset. And how the mindset separates you is because with those people, they decided to break through the cycle of negative thinking. They decided to break through that cycle of procrastination. They decided to break through the cycle of lacking of lacking self improvement. They actually decided to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to perform at a higher standard because this is where I hold myself to this higher standard. And a lot of us see things and we assume that I can't do that, but that's not true. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you have to see it for yourself. You have to believe in yourself. I'm not looking for anybody to root for me. I don't care if nobody roots for me. I am my own fan, okay? I'm rooting for myself all the time behind the scenes. And we look at things that are on the surface because we look at all these artists, we look at all these people that have all this money and they got all these designer clothes, but we don't know what they had to go through underneath that. No one knows who you are. Only you know who you are when you close those doors and you lock those doors at night. Because it is really a drag. It is not easy to just say, oh my gosh, I'm confident, and then just do it. No, it's not. You have to work through that. That means if you're not confident within yourself, you don't trust yourself, right? You don't trust yourself. That's what that is. That's what that means. If you're not confident within yourself, you don't trust yourself. Okay. So when you're working on confidence, when you're working on self love, when you're working on all of those things, when you're choosing to self improve yourself, to actually push past that negative bridge, to push past all those doubts, those fears, and those worries, and this negative way of thinking that's making you, because your thinking affects how you feel, and how you feel affects your actions, and your actions are going to affect your results, right? So when you allow that to creep in, you are choosing to be in that state. You are choosing that path. So you don't give doubt. There's no negotiating with doubt. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. It's not even for discussion. I'm not finna negotiate with you. Because yes, before I used to think I wasn't worth it. Before I used to think that I wasn't gonna accomplish anything. But let me tell you this, I have accomplished a lot of things within my life. Not only did I get my high school diploma, I went back to get my high school diploma. Not only did I get my high school diploma, I went to college. I was able to experience college. Okay. So the fact that I got the experience was greater than anything. I also became a CNA nurse. Not to mention I was a CMA as well. I was supposed to take the test. I didn't take the test because it was a thing. I started college and it was too late. But anyway, so I was able to experience being able to give people blood draws, and even Job Corps. They closed down Job Corps, and I was able to experience Job Corps, and I was so happy to be able to be able to get that experience. And not even just that, because I didn't know where my life was going. I didn't know where my life was headed after I got my high school diploma. I was mad. I wanted more. I was working as a security guard, then I was working in the fast food restaurant and making sandwiches. And baby, I was doing good. But anyway, that's not where I wanted to be. So I decided to go and try to go to college. I went to a college. I forgot what the name of it was. I went up there. They told me how much I was going to be paying in order to become a CNA. And when I came back, I remember going back home, and I was so sad. I started crying. So I started researching, and then I came across Job Corps. And when I came across Job Corps, I met up with the lady in Compton, and she told me, she said, it's free. The program is free. And I took advantage of that. I took advantage of it, and I got my license as a nurse. When I was a CNA, I didn't really enjoy being a CNA, like I said, but I had a lot of stuff under my belt. I went to college. I became a nurse. I did CMA. And then not even just after that, I am now a recovery counselor. And I see myself as a content creator, because that's what I am. I am a content creator. I create content. But where I used to be versus where I am now, I can honestly say that I have changed and I have grown. And Jim Rohn made another comment saying that when we compare ourselves to other people, instead compare yourself to who you were yesterday, who you were last month, or who you were last year. I am better than who I was last year, because last year I was not where I wanted to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Every day I wake up regardless of any negativity that tries to creep in my mind. I'm going to push past that and say, no, that is not what I accept, because I hold myself at a higher position, at a higher standard. I have high expectations of myself. And the high expectations, and each and every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do something new. I'm going to implement a new idea. I don't tell people what I'm doing, because people don't need to know my business. I don't need to tell people I'm growing. I don't need to tell people how I'm changing. They will naturally see the change that is within me, because every day I am working on becoming a better woman. Every day I am working on becoming a better individual, not just for myself, but as for others. I'm taught because me being a content creator, being able to put myself out here, I must practice what I teach. So there is no reason for me to be sitting up here and coming on here being raw and truly authentic and cutthroat and not even actually applying the things that I'm saying that I'm doing. That's why I say I study when it comes to manifestation. I'm not the brightest in the book. I know there is more for me to learn and there's more that I need to learn, and that's totally fine. But I'm willing to wake up each and every morning to apply myself and actually go out there and do it. Being able to get back into working out, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Even if I didn't go to the gym, there's no excuses. I can work out at home. Just the fact of me being able to wake up at 6 a.m. and condition myself and say, this is what I want to do. My mind is clear as day. I feel good because I did my affirmations. I feel good because I'm creating this content. I'm creating this video. I feel good because I pushed past the negativity. And then I'm going to read the book, The Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is so many things that, and for me, I say with me each and every day, I say this. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody, because let me tell you something. A lot of things happened yesterday, and I noticed that one thing that really spoke to me was when he talked about how you react. I react to so many small things, but I no longer am going to do that. And today I'm going to I'm gonna train myself. When something comes up, when a situation comes up, I'm not gonna react to it. I'm gonna respond to it because I'm gonna think, because this is going to affect me. My temporary emotions and how I react to things, people are gonna think that, damn, you not in control. You wow. You're not emotionally intelligent. You can't even handle yourself under pressure. How are you going to handle yourself under pressure when it's a business that's involved, when you're speaking to other individuals, or when you have to make a business decision? Are you going to be able to do that without getting in your emotions and allowing your emotions to get to you? Because really, we have to control our emotions. Our emotions don't control us. And for so long, I've allowed my thoughts and my emotions to control me. But today, I put a stop to that. And I want you to do the same, because you can push past that. I don't care what obstacles you have to go through. I don't care what you are going through at this moment. Even if you may not have a home and you may not have food in your belly, if you know that there is something that you want to do, whether you want to be an artist, a leader, I don't care, whatever it is you want to be, a speaker, content creator, do it now. If you have a cell phone, do it now. That's what I'm doing it on. If you have a cell phone, do it now. Go out there and take action. What is the point of talking about it? We talk about it. I used to talk about it all the time. No, be about that action. It's time to execute. It's time to say, I'm going to be relentless. It's time to say, I'm going to give it another try. If I failed before, let me do it again, because you never know. Maybe something you was doing that was not working. Maybe if you do something differently, you can't keep constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. That is not how it works. That's not how the world works. That's not how it will work if you want to be successful. What makes you successful is you first taking action. That's what makes you successful. But also sticking to it, remaining consistent throughout the process. You have to be consistent, right? Because consistency is important. It doesn't matter how good you are talented. It doesn't matter how gifted you are. What are you doing with it? If you're dancing, are you dancing on a regular, baby? Okay, and I'm not talking about twerking and popping ass. I'm talking about actual dancing, okay? If what else? If you're working out, what are you doing? Let me ask you this. What if you're trying to do your diet, you say, okay, I used to tell myself, I'm a diet next week. I'm a diet next week. Da 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 da. But then now something happened to me with my health that I'm forced to diet. There is no da da da. No, it's I'm looking at everybody enjoy all this good food, Popeyes, and Popeyes is my favorite. I'm looking at everybody enjoy Popeyes, Taco Bell, all that good stuff, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could have it, but I can't. But you know what? It's okay. I'm not even tripping, because I'm on a new wave, baby. I'm on a new wave. So, you know what I'm saying? But really, like, what you got to ask yourself, what do you need to do to change? You know what I'm saying? And who do you want to do it for? How do you what see that's the thing. That's why I say I wanted to share this. Because I know what it feels like to not feel like you're not good enough. I know what it feels like to not feel at your best. But even when you're not at your best, remember I still put out content even when I was sick, y'all. I didn't even feel good. I ain't never done no shit like that. Never. But I said, no, I'm finna do this for my audience because I know somebody's listening. I know a lot of people are listening. Trust me. I know you're going to come across this video and this video is going to change you for the better because I know it's going to change you for the better because it's changing me as I'm speaking to you. I speak with truth. I speak with purpose. I walk with divine authority. This is who I am. So if I see myself and hold myself to a higher standard, then I have to do things that follow that. I cannot settle for less, and neither should you. Peace.